and welcome to the Beat Cancer Answer.
All right, and we are live and off to it. Welcome everybody to the BeatCancer.Org weekly call. We have a quick introduction video before we get started, and then we will get off to it. So let me pull that up here. All right.
Hello, and welcome to the Beat Cancer Answer, brought to you by BeatCancer.Org, the Center for Advancement in Cancer Education. We believe that 90% of all cancers could be eliminated through environmental and lifestyle choices alone, and science agrees. Unfortunately, most people don't know it. So we provide the education that can help you prevent, cope with, and beat cancer through diet, lifestyle, and other immune-boosting approaches. In every video, we will feature an expert who can teach us how to become part of that 90% who could prevent getting diagnosed with cancer. But if you already have cancer, we have empowering information for you too. Over the past 40+ years, our nonprofit counseling service has helped thousands of cancer patients get back into the driver's seat when it comes to their personal journey of healing cancer and preventing future recurrence. If we helped you learn just one thing today about how to prevent, cope with, or beat cancer, then we have succeeded in our mission. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. We appreciate all of your feedback and love your suggestions. Your positive ratings help us to get discovered so we can help save more lives. Thank you again for joining us, and best wishes for good health from all of us at BeatCancer.Org.
All right. So more housekeeping. As a reminder, nothing that you hear on this call is intended to be taken as explicit medical advice. Always consult with an appropriate medical professional, whatever that means to you. When necessary, we are here to share information, share resources, share educational materials, perspectives, support, establish community, but we are not here to diagnose nor prescribe any particular ailment or treatment. As you can see, I am here hosting by my lonesome tonight. So you see me looking around as usual to all my different screens. I am producing the show, making sure that the stream is running and checking for comments on all the different social media platforms. We are live streaming on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, Twitter, and some other places. So there's plenty for me to monitor. If anyone is catching the live stream on any of those social media platforms and would like to join us here on the Zoom itself, you can go to BeatCancer.org and click on the weekly call button right at the top of your screen. Um, Questions are welcome from any participants that are on the Zoom. When there's a moment where we introduce that the mic is available, you can grab the mic and let us know what's on your mind. If you're not speaking at a particular moment, please do mute your microphone. That allows us to keep the audio very clean and clear and crisp and under control for the best experience of everybody. Um, Comments are also welcome in the chat. Topics of discussion are welcome in the chat as well, whether you're on the Zoom or watching on one of the social media platforms. Like I said, I'll be monitoring the chats there. So please do feel free to put some comments in. And I see we already have a friend putting comments in the Facebook. Very cool. And we will be getting to them as we can. Let's see. Cool. That said, really cool announcement for my weekly call fans. I just did a nice update to the weekly call page that might be of use to you. So I'll share my screen and show you what I did. This is, of course, our Beat Cancer homepage that we all know and love. You navigate over to our weekly call page. This might look familiar, but if you scroll down, there are two new features. One, there is a form where you can submit topics of discussion ahead of time. So that's pretty cool. This is available for anyone. Go ahead and let us know who you are and let us know what you would like to talk about or cover. Whether you can attend the call or not, you're welcome to pitch a topic of discussion. We'll get to it as we can. And if you're not able to make the call when we talk about your topic, be sure to catch the replays. Speaking of replays, those who visit this page might know that there has been the replays available here, but now it's actually the whole playlist. So the whole playlist of these weekly calls going back to when we first started streaming on YouTube, which is back in June of last year. All of those are available right here on this page. So you can watch any of them that you so please. And they'll
And even if
automatically
it's not,
update as soon as we record every week. So that's pretty cool. And I'm happy about it. So I hope everyone else is happy too. Awesome. We're always reworking, refining, and making everything better here at Beat Cancer so we can best serve our community members, which are all of you. Awesome. So with that said, I will open the floor to some of our participants here. We have a great panel of coaches on with us tonight. I don't see, I think everyone on the Zoom is a coach or not. Well, my father is Dave, so he's accounted for. iPhone is Craig, I know that. I know everyone that's on camera. And Greta. The name Greta isn't sounding entirely familiar. So that said, I will open the mic for Miss Greta if she would like to unmute herself and let us know what brings her out to the call. So I'm going to prompt you to unmute here.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Yes, I am a cancer coach student. So today I have a time to be in this nice interesting Zoom meeting. So yes, I am a cancer coach student. Nearly there, finishing it. So
Awesome.
thanks.
Amazing. Well, thank you for joining us. And Yeah. What's your last name, if you don't mind sharing, Greta? Are you in our coach's group chat yet?
I'm sorry?
You're a coach in training with us? Like with me?
Yes, yes.
Oh, awesome.
2 years ago, but I am taking it slowly because I am so busy. It's taking me time.
Got it, got it, got it. Cool. Well, being here is such a fantastic step towards getting integrated into the community and learning alongside everybody. So we're super happy to have you. And I would love to connect with you after this as well. And I could let you know about some of the other new things that we're doing for our coaches community. There's a lot of new things to make use of these days. Awesome. I see you're muted now.
Thank you.
Absolutely. You're very welcome. All right. I see some comments coming in on Facebook from Mr. or Mrs. Pointer Bud, but I don't see any questions. They're just a couple comments. So you're welcome to ask a question, my friend, that you'd like us to go over. But other than that, I will open the floor to our coaches to see if there's any topics that are top of mind. I know Jane had a topic that she had in mind. So Jane, I would invite you to go ahead and unmute yourself and ask what it is that you were wanting to talk about.
Okay, thank you very much. Um, Other than I decided that you don't sleep. I'm a little concerned about that. I'm just teasing you. But
Sure.
the reverse osmosis, we did discuss it before, but actually I'm in the process of deciding whether to put it in my own kitchen, and I would like to know from everyone else. And my the construction guy says he was concerned about two things. One, taking out all the minerals, and two, he said if you don't, as he read, if you don't use it enough, and I'm one person in the house mostly, that it sits in there and creates a problem with the sediment that could be counterproductive. Is that correct?
Yeah, so those are definitely some valid points of consideration when someone is deciding what sort of water filtration device they wish to make use of. So the first one is the minerals and the stripping of minerals via the reverse osmosis process. To put it very simply, for those that aren't familiar with the reverse osmosis process, to my comprehension, what it is essentially there's a membrane part of the filter that has extremely small pores and it shoves the water through it until nothing else can get through other than the pure water itself. That does include, however, the physical minerals that you might want in the water, as well as the, contaminants that are present in tap water that we don't want. And so personally, what I do after a reverse osmosis filtration process is add back in a blend of organic minerals. Um, I have a solution. It's some minerals in a water solution, and I add those back in before I consume the water personally. So that's what I do. Other people have different things that they do to remineralize their water, and we can open up the floor certainly. Regarding the second thing you said, oh, not
That
using it very frequently. And yeah, there's different kinds of filter systems. There are systems that have a tank, and it's like a big tank of
right.
water, so it filters it and fills up a tank, and then,
We
it
want to eliminate the tank
senses.
because it takes too much space.
Correct. So yeah, when something is sitting in a tank, that's a lot of water sitting around, etc. So going with the tankless systems are probably a little safer for the sake of not having, mold or mildew build up because, in the tubes and filters and stuff, it's dark and it's
Right.
damp, of course. So if water's not constantly flowing, then that does provide opportunity for, things to build up. That said, I mean, you drink water at least every day, I hope. So I don't think personally that it would be a big concern because you drink water, right? And that'll be dispensing from the tap. Anytime you cook
Well,
with it,
right now I'm getting it from Ready Refresh, so I'm using
yeah. Well, we
field
were saying
bulbs.
in the circumstance where were to switch to a reverse osmosis filter, you would be drinking from that from then
Right,
on. Anytime that you cook, say you're boiling something, or you could use that water
I'll
as
use that
well.
as well. Okay,
Um, if you have that nice clean water, you might as well water your plants with it instead of tap water. So that there are more ways that you could incorporate it that
okay,
you might not be thinking of, and then you'll be using it a little more frequently. So
okay.
that said, there are also systems that incorporate things like a UV light in part of the process, and that can help maybe keep the system clear. I'm not sure. But those are my immediate thoughts, and I open
Okay.
the floor for any of our other coaches to address Jane's considerations here.
And he also said that it takes like so many, like 4 gallons to make 1 gallon of water, or is that not right?
Different systems will have different efficiency rates. However, yes, they're in a reverse osmosis filtering system. Generally, water goes in and clean water continues through the system, and then the like wastewater gets circulated back down to the drain. So yeah, there is more consumption, I guess,
Right.
technically, than you are drinking.
Is there another filtration system that's just as good, or is reverse osmosis the best?
There's opinions, there's differing opinions. Some people prefer distilled, some people prefer to find a spring water source and, go with that. So, it's one of those things where there's a large variety of opinions and thoughts. And there's not necessarily one right answer, although there are some serious zealots out there for their individual preferences that will argue to the, end of time that their particular way of water is the best. But we're just here to share different ideas and everyone can choose. That's I told you what I do. That's all I can do,
Well, but that's great. That really helps me. And the idea that I could use it for other things too helps as well. I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
And the other question I had, which is totally different, because I do want to hear about the coaches on this. When I was looking at the document of, I'm not saying the title correctly, but why do I need a holistic
Well,
cancer?
but Jane, before we
Keep
hop
on
on
this one.
before we
Keep
hop
on.
onto another topic, let's open the floor for
Okay.
on the water topic before we get
Okay.
off. So I'm going to open that for anyone else on the call to share their thoughts on water filtration and what we have mentioned. I know it's a topic we cover with some frequency, but anyone is welcome to grab the mic and share their thoughts on their preferred drinking water or anything that was shared already. Oh, looks like Jackie's going for it. No, no,
I have a question.
absolutely.
Jane, would that be just for purifying water? That's not making alkaline water, correct?
What's alkaline water? I'm not familiar.
Reverse osmosis would just be purifying your water, like cleaning it, not making it alkaline.
So, yeah, those
No,
are
I
two
think it's
different.
cleaning.
Those are two different procedures.
Maybe.
Some reverse osmosis systems that are multi-stage have an option to include an allegedly alkalizing stage filter in
Mhm.
the process. So the two aren't mutually exclusive in terms of getting a filtering system, but those are two different processes. Reverse osmosis filtration is different than alkalizing, and that's a whole rabbit hole itself.
Okay.
Cool. Any other thoughts on what Jane has brought up in the water filtration?
I have another question.
Sure.
Sure.
Would a Berkey water filter be the same thing, but just a countertop type of
I'm
thing?
sorry. Say that again. Would what?
Would a Berkey water filter be a similar thing, but a countertop?
I
You
don't know what Berkey water is.
So Berkey is a brand of water filters. I'm not sure what the specific like type of filtration they offer is. I know they have fantastic marketing and they have become extremely popular. But I'm not sure what type of filtration specifically they are. I'm doing a quick search.
I have a Berkey filtration system. It's a simple system. It just filters the water. They do have two type of filters. One is regular filter, and the other is a fluoride filter. So it does filters the fluoride and other things. After many testing, it's been like, there was a lot of debates about Berkey. So third party tested for purity. It does do 100% of clearing the water from fluoride, pesticide, or whatever the water has. So it does clear out that. And I've been using Berkey, oh gosh, 9 years now, 10, 9, 7. No, it's about 8, 9 years. Yes.
Is that exclusively on top of the counter?
That's the top of the counter. The Berkey's does not get plugged in into the sink. It's just a pitcher you fill up. It does have like it's a big tank. It does have filters on the top and filters on the bottom. And there are like filters on the bottom, fluoride filters on the top are regular filters. So, and it's a countertop. Yes, we've been using that for some years now. Yeah.
Yeah, there are always so many options out there.
Yeah.
There's so many unique ones too. I've seen filtration processes that take the water and spin it in a particular vortex to structure it, et cetera, et cetera. Very cool. There are so many things out there, but any of these are probably going to be better than not filtering at
Filtration.
all.
Better
Yeah,
than regular filtration.
correct. Correct. And it's just overall important to understand that not all filters are made the same. General, everyday refrigerator built-in filters,
No.
little Brita countertop things, they unfortunately are doing very little other than providing a sense of false confidence that you're drinking clean water.
And
So
they taste it. You could tell by the taste.
that's true. That's true. It's always crazy to me when there's people that say they can't tell the difference in the taste of water. I think it's a great litmus test for someone's overall consciousness, but that's just me. Anyway,
Well, Mike,
Can I? Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, did you want to say something about the,
I want to talk a little bit about alkaline water.
please do.
What is it like alkaline water? Alkaline water is basically water with electrolytes, minerals. That's what it is. And when people talk about alkalinity, that there's special filter, carbonated filter that pushes the minerals into the water through the system. And some people do feel good because it's it does contain minerals, but you don't have to go crazy with alkaline water. You can just get like reverse osmosis and just add sea salt or trace minerals or any minerals to the water and drink it. That would make the water alkaline.
where do you add it to the machine itself?
No, to the cup when you drink it, or you squeeze lemon to that, and some people do lemon with baking soda. Depends.
Is that what you were saying to Zach? When you add it, you add it per glass or per whatever?
Correct. So I'll generally, depending on what I'm doing, I'll fill up. I have two of these 40-ounce bottles, or if I'm on the
Okay.
road for a little while, I'll have a gallon.
Okay.
And then depending on the quantity of water I am treating, I just put X amount of
Okay.
drops. But yeah, I put it at point of use. The particular minerals that I use, they do state that for optimal results, you would treat it ahead of time, like 24 hours in advance even, and it's pretty fascinating. The stuff that I have, after you treat the water with it, you can see if there are any contaminants, it congeals them and drops them to the bottom, and allegedly it rendered them inert. It's very fascinating stuff. So
Is it okay to ask her the name of that?
Yeah, I don't see why not. This is not an official endorsement. This is
Right.
not a affiliate link. This is not a Beat Cancer recommendation. I have not third-party tested this. I have talked to the owner of the company though, and he seems to be a cool guy. It's Oro Liquid Gold.
Oh,
AURO. I'll put it in the
A-
chat.
AURO.
Yeah. And if someone looks into it and has a reason why it's not good, please do let me know. They have alleged lab tests on there.
Okay.
Say alleged because I didn't do them myself. So yeah, that's not a recommendation. That's not a
Right. It's just
thing.
a
That's
response
just
to my question. That's
what
all.
I do. Yeah, I know. I know you know, but you know.
But
just-
no, you're absolutely right. You're
Disclaimers.
absolutely right.
Yep.
So my second question was much easier.
Sure.
And I was looking at the document that we have for importance of a cancer coach,
Mhm.
right? And it has all this information, but it also says that it's an ebook. But I don't see where the ebook is. But that doesn't mean it's not there. That means I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's all right. That's more so a question not for this platform, but to briefly
okay.
answer it, yeah, that's a free resource that we have within our community. It's available for you guys to give it away. It's not something that we have for sale currently, although we will probably have it for sale at some point in the future.
Okay, where do I find it? I mean, I found the document, but it refers to chapter 1, chapter 2.
I'll put it right here in the chat for you.
Okay, thank you so
yeah,
much. Okay,
awesome.
thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So that covers that, and that opens the floor for any of our coaches if they have any topics that are top of mind, top of heart, and that they would like to discuss, anything they found interesting, anything they'd like to share. Otherwise, we will pitch something ourselves.
I think Linda's holding up her hand.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
I just have a question for Maya. Maya, what about putting alkaline drops in the water?
Well, that's going to be
Well-
what she said. Like you could put drops that contain the electrolytes. But go ahead.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
that would make it alkaline.
That's what okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Also, remember that when we talk about alkalinity, it's such a hot button phrase that gets talked about all the time, and people bring it up all the time, and it's like really, really revered. But there's a couple different mechanisms, right? There's a difference between something, whether it's water or a fruit or vegetable or anything, being alkaline itself versus alkalizing to the body. And I think it's a term that gets thrown around a lot and kind of misinterpreted in a lot of different ways. And yeah, it's just something to consider, when looking into like alkaline anything, understanding the mechanisms behind them. Absolutely. Cool. Cool. All right. Floor is open once again for any of our coaches if they have any thoughts. Surely someone has thoughts. See, someone is having trouble getting into the meeting. No. Okay, but she's here. All right. Well then, I will pitch a topic to the group. One of our scheduled topics that we've had for the last couple weeks that we haven't gotten to is color therapy. Color therapy for mood enhancement or for other benefits. And I'd love to hear anyone's thoughts on the effects that different colors have, either in one's environment or by using different color lights, different effects that could have on the human brain and the body and or in healing. Very interesting topic, and the floor is open for anyone's thoughts on it. Whether you agree, disagree, think it's all BS, let us know what you think. All right, I see a hand from Jane.
I totally believe in this. I'm drawn to soft pink, which is the color of love. and I have it almost all throughout my house. I think color really affects us dramatically, and it's different frequencies. So it's made from different energies. And sometimes what color we crave, one we like, is the one that our body needs. And if I'm in a place that has the wrong color, or I put an outfit on that's the wrong color for me that day, I've got to take it off. It just doesn't fit. So I think our bodies itself tell us what color we need if we tune into that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's fascinating. And go ahead, Jackie. I see a hand up.
Well, I experienced color being healing yesterday. I went for an acupuncture treatment. And as you can see, I'm wearing lavender. But yesterday, everything I had on was lavender, from my socks to my jewelry, like everything. And after he put the needles in me, he left me alone for like 45 minutes and put on meditation music. I mean, like a meditation tape. And the whole time I was like wrapped in lavender. I was like surrounded by a lavender blanket. It was just, I mean, I just found out that lavender is like super, super healing. And then when I went out, like going about my day, so many people commented on my colors. So yeah, I experienced it and it was very powerful.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I hosted a guest on my podcast who was all about color therapy, and it was very interesting, the conversation about, not only the healing capacity of certain colors to, have different effects, but also in reading the colors that we have a gravitation towards or an aversion to. And there's a school of thought that that can tell us a little bit about ourselves and what energy we might want to work on or lead into. Very, very interesting stuff. I see a hand from Kathy Oliver.
Hi, I just wanted to share that I have MS and I'm doing Weber laser IV therapy, and there's an actual protocol, and it's red, blue, yellow, green, and there's a certain order to it, and each color has a very specific goal as to what it does in the body. So I absolutely believe in it, and I've been on the end of the very therapeuticness of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really fascinating. Like someone was saying, Jackie was saying she gets acupuncture done. I work with an acupressure specialist who also specializes in several other body work modalities. And there are times where he's working on, something that, in my body, a muscle knot or something. And as we know, energy and emotions or traumas, etc., can get stored physically in the body, which can contribute to things like muscle knots and different physical manifestations as well. And there will be some times where he's working something out and I have my eyes closed, and just as it hits a certain spot, get a rush of one particular color very strong. And I can feel the connection between when he's working it out and seeing the color in while my eyes are closed, just, moving around or building up and then releasing. It's pretty fascinating stuff. Pretty cool. Awesome. Any other thought? I see Valerie.
Yeah, I have not experienced any color therapy myself, but my daughter had done more than a year's worth of neurofeedback for various learning disabilities and a previous brain trauma. And they often used color within the neurofeedback session to increase or stimulate, and depending upon the colors, whatever brain waves, whether they wanted the theta wave or the delta wave to increase, they often use color to do that. So I know it has quite profound effects on the human body.
Yeah, it's really cool stuff. And it's an example of something that the everyday person, it's something that the everyday person could be making use of, right? We already have things that are different colors around us at all times, and we can choose or certain ones or others, but only through conscious understanding of these mechanisms can we curate our reality like that? I think it's one of those things that people are missing out on making use of. That is a very easy way to optimize your reality in different ways. And it can be on all levels, right? It's not just what you wear or what you do in the short term, but like what color are your walls and what color are, the different things that surround you that are more major. Different institutions certainly make use of this. If there's a reason why doctors' offices and stuff will use particular colors, whether it's pastels to be very calming or just the white to establish a sense of cleanliness and authority. Um, yeah, it's something that a lot of institutions make use of in their planning as well. Is that a hand from Jane?
Very interesting that if you, on the reverse side, if you look at the color in the casinos, they use certain colors so that you're drawn towards the casino floor, and other colors that to stay away from.
Yeah, they use a lot
Like
of
in the
tricks.
rugs and everything.
Yeah, they use a lot of psychological mechanisms to get
Yes.
people to do what they want to do, which is give them all their money. It's
Right.
beyond the colors, they use the patterns that are very
Right.
stimulating. They go so as far as to make sure that all of the walkways and walls are at rounded radius or radii instead of having sharp corners and sharp turns. Yeah, they make
No
sure
clocks, no
clocks.
clocks,
Yep.
no windows,
Yeah.
so you don't know if it's night or day.
Speaking of the therapies, I would say I think the color does affect our brain a lot in terms of there's always communication between our eyes retina with our brain. And therefore, like a lot of people in the wintertime when it's gray outside and gloomy, there is a higher, rate of depression around those days when it's gray and no color. But when there's a sun out and everyone feels good, there is there's a communication between the retina and the brain in releasing hormones, serotonin, tryptophan, dopamine, all those hormones. And every hormone does affect our mood, our health. More serotonin, if we're happy, then we have a more happy hormones. So it's like everything links in the body and connects with each other. More sad we are, then we feel gloomy, we feel like, tired and exhausted, of course. Yeah. In my experience, for example, when I went through chemotherapy, in my brain, like I associate that first treatment, first part was all this, like in my head is like has this gray colors, like rainy day, and and then when I choose to go was holistic second time when I got diagnosed, and no drugs at all. So, and I would get better and better in my head. It's like I have this picture of the field full of flowers in the sun. It's like this is how I compare those two in my head. So the color, whether we like it or not, is like in our like kind of DNA sitting there somewhere, right? So that's why I would say it does create a big effect on the body, on our health.
Yeah. Yep. I see another hand. I don't know who was first. Was it Kathy? Sorry, I was looking at the stream.
I was just going to say that when I'm doing Reiki with someone, I always check their chakras. You were talking about energy and how it kind of gathers and gets all jumbled. And when I'm checking their chakras, and if one's closed, I always encourage them, because there's colors related to each chakra, to eat foods in that color or to even dress in that color. So color is very much an integrative part of all of this.
Yeah. Yeah, fantastic share. I know Reiki and chakras, each chakra has its associated color. So, it's definitely an intertwined thing, a concept within a lot of holistic modalities. Absolutely. And I think there was a hand from Jody before, right?
I was gonna say that, with the infrared, when you have the infrared sauna, that affects us and also I think with our cell phones, something if you get the blue light with our cell phones at night. Like
Yep.
I'm really glad you brought this up because it's such a subtle thing in our lives, but we can really use it with helping people if we learn more about it because it can have such a profound effect on us. Like just with like Maya's shirt, I could tell that that's like when she was talking and she's blown up on my screen. It's a cheery color though. Like we don't realize. I was thinking about like with the shirt she has on, that can affect what you're wearing in an interview and something, how someone's going to perceive you. It's such a subtle but very important thing in our lives. We just don't realize it. And I'm really glad that you brought up how that can affect the healing effect of somebody. Because as a nurse, I didn't even think of that. So thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. The cell phones are a big thing that come up pretty frequently. Yeah, artificial light contains frequencies of color outside of our visible light spectrum that have been shown to do a lot of damage to our eyes, our brain, our overall mental well-being, etc. So, yep, there are some steps that people can take to minimize the exposure to those. Um, but yeah, everything counts. Everything counts.
That is a great example. Blue lights, how does it affect especially in kids? It's affect their performance, their cognitive behavior, and their mental stage. That already says a lot in there. And if we put like a soft yellow light or candle light, it affects us completely differently. So there's so many things that there is a huge connection between the eyes and the brain communication, huge. And the colors are one of them.
Yeah.
The blue light from your computer screens and your phones actually depletes the natural melatonin made by the body. So, and your melatonin is a hormone. So it could cause sleep issues with people, which is one reason sleep centers, doctors recommend staying away from any kind of screen use for at least an hour to two before bedtime.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jackie.
I have two comments and a question. So the one comment is like the reason everybody loves living in Colorado is because we have over 300 days of sunlight a year, and like it's rare that it's not sunny, and it's just we miss it. And the other comment is that the oncologist that I go to locally has a very depressing office. It's like I even said to one of the medical assistants or nurses, I said, this place needs renovation badly. And it's just like, I think it's like this green color. And like, it's not a happy place to be. Whereas when I was treated at MD Anderson, like it was a very happy place and everybody was happy. So it's a shame. But the question I have is, aren't there things you can put on top of your electronic screen that filters that bad light away? I would love to know about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'll let a coach take the lead on that one if they'd like to before I chime in and share my thoughts.
It's a blue light blockers. You can wear the glasses or you can get a screen that covers your computer screen. There is a software you can download on your computer, but it does not completely remove the blue lights. It will limit it, but not completely remove it. But the blue light blocker glasses, I think the best you can do when it comes to before an hour before bed, because it would help to promote like melatonin secretion. And that's very important. This is how like a lights play, the color and the lights play a big role in our body. Like melatonin secretion. If we don't get the signal to our brain, because blue light is mimicking like a daylight. So that's why melatonin secretion slows down when we constantly sit in front of the computer. And then if we don't get enough secretion of melatonin, and melatonin are precursors for dopamine, tryptophan, and serotonin, then the body is not going to release enough tryptophan, dopamine, and other like hormones that makes you happy. People wake up in the morning being depressed and they don't understand why are they depressed. And this is one of the reasons they could get depressed. So
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. And there's so many things that you could do, and sometimes a combination of them all is a great thing. There's the glasses that can block the frequencies at that part. There's the screen protectors that can physically block block at the screen itself. There's the different softwares like Maya was saying, or the built-in settings on a device. Um, so, you combine some of these and you never know, it might be your best shot. I saw something recently, something new. Instead of just being a blue light blocking screen protector, it was allegedly a red light converting screen protector. So my eyebrows went exactly like Maya's just did. It sounds like just the latest, I don't know. It sounds interestingly gimmicky to me. But it was alleging to not only, like I said, block the blue light frequencies, it was alleging to take the other colors and then convert it into like your screen being a red light therapy device. And I think it also alleged to not affect the color of the output of the screen. I don't know. They had a great, cool looking website, but I'm not saying that it's something that works. I haven't tested it myself, but if it does work, that's pretty cool. Um, there's always a newest thing, right?
Yeah.
There's always something. But yeah, watch. Everyone's probably gonna go and get advertisements for them now that your phone has heard me talk about them.
Yeah, I would be interested in that one for sure.
Yeah. I don't know if red light converting screen protect. If
Well,
so,
the
if someone,
infrared
what's that?
have the infrared lights have become very popular with all the various sizes of the far infrared and near infrared for healing, pain, inflammation. It's supposed to be, I guess, also anti-aging.
Yeah.
But there
Yeah.
are
I've seen a
advertisements.
lot of yeah, it's definitely becoming very popular, the red light devices or panels. So this is the thing I saw. Again, this is not a disclaimer. I'm not saying that this is not a recommendation. I haven't tested this. I just found it. Don't know if it's real or not. Transform harmful blue light from your phone screen into beneficial red light. That is a big claim. Like
Yeah.
that is a very big claim. I mean, that's awesome if this works. If someone gets it and uses it, let me know what you found.
I'd like to know how long they've been researching, like, sometimes you think something's better, and after a couple of years, it's causing a lot more harm because it's an artificial way of doing it.
That's exactly what was going through my mind. Like, what is it gonna be in 10 years from now or 5 years from now?
Yeah. I mean, look at their marketing though. It's great. That was an awesome graphic.
Yeah.
I can understand how someone would buy that so quick.
Ah, I wanted to. Yeah. If I felt like, throwing away some money on a test, I would. Again, and I'm not saying it's bad either. Maybe it does work. I don't know.
Well, it says tested and proven there. I wonder how long it's been tested and proven though.
Yeah.
I think it
Yeah.
might work because in my office where I offer red light therapy, one of the benefits, it says that red light therapy counteract the blue light of the old device we use every day. So that might be something that works. Because
Yeah, again, and I'm not ruling it out. I would love to have this be legit and real. I can't
Yeah,
speak to it one way or another. Um,
it's so true.
but yeah, if someone gets it, let me know.
It's a
And
cool idea that someone thought about, that's for sure, because you could use that everywhere. Everybody has a computer at home. I mean, everybody's health could be completely affected by that if it really did work. You know,
yeah,
everybody has computers at work. You'd have that looking at you all day long. It could
yeah.
be a really good benefit if it really does work.
Yeah, absolutely. And that brings up another point in devices are one thing, but we do talk about this with some frequency as well, but it's also always important to mention, even when you shut off your device, what are you being exposed to? Your overhead lights, the
Mhm.
lights in your house. What do like that's probably the biggest exposure, even more so than the screens, because even when you're not doing a screened activity, you're also under those lights. So that's another consideration. Um, and are we having a natural lighting source? Obviously, the most natural lighting source is having a skylight, like a hole in your ceiling or glass. But other than that, my recommendation is always for incandescent, old school, classic light bulbs. That's as close to natural light, I guess beyond a candle, as you're gonna get.
Yeah, yeah. And they don't go bad. And they don't
Oh,
burn actual a lot of energy like we were told about.
correct,
So,
correct.
right.
Almost as if there's a whole agendaed scam to make us unhealthy and sell garbage.
That's exactly what it
Yes.
is.
Yeah. So yeah, get rid of those LEDs, especially those compact fluorescents. Not only are they putting out harmful artificial frequency lights that are irritating to your eyes and brain, but they're also, unbeknownst to someone who doesn't know this, they also flicker at a rate that your eyes cannot perceive, but your brain still is able to register subconsciously, and that is responsible for a lot of the irritation from them as well. If you've ever seen an LED or even a compact fluorescent light under or with a slow motion camera, you can see that it's not just light. It's on off, on off, on off, on off, and that is just incredibly annoying to the human brain. So again, this is responsible for things like Maya was saying. A lot of people are irritable or unrested and they don't understand why. And all of these things add up to why. Obviously, there's always a million different variables in someone's life. And but why not stack the odds in your favor of living a good and healthy one?
They just recently had something online saying the what is that light called with the coil? I forget the one that you're talking about.
The
How bad they
incandescent.
really are for our health versus the incandescent, and that it was hard to get an incandescent light bulb,
Mhm.
but the other ones are so much worse for our health.
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, the satanic administrations that were running the country were passing laws to outlaw incandescent light bulbs, and so you had to get them as appliance light bulbs because they became, quote, illegal to
Yeah.
sell for residential use. So yeah, but
They're
that
gonna start, they're gonna start discontinuing them. They're gonna discontinue them as of 2028, I believe so. They're gonna
well,
become illegal.
I've seen that there's been bills in the works now to undo the banning of
Why?
the incandescent bulbs and bring them back. So
I hope so.
yeah. But in the meantime, there's workarounds.
Yeah.
Like I said, you could buy appliance light bulbs and put them in your appliances only. I consider my lighting fixture an appliance, so I'm good.
There's I don't know, is that okay if I share a website where they sell them?
Yeah, why not?
On link here. There's a website that does sell them. They do go under appliance lights.
Well,
Anyone interested?
I see a question from Robinson. Robinson BJ. So we will get to that in just a moment. Unless anyone has any more thoughts on the lights and lighting and light bulbs and colors and frequencies, etc. Over to you, Jane.
Happened. Interesting thing happened with me. My grandson joined the Army, and he grew up in Hilton Head, South Carolina, but he was sent to Alaska, and it's 19 hours of darkness. So I sent him a light, a lamp that has light in it, so that because he was getting extremely depressed.
Yeah.
So anybody in that area, I know there's high alcoholism in Alaska. I mean, they really need help with other devices.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. I've been running an experiment lately myself in that I live here in New Jersey where it's disgusting and gray. Even when it's sunny, all the architecture is all modern and gray, but that's a whole other conversation. Um, and especially in the winter, the skies are full of who knows what. Well, we know what. And we can't see the sun. But that, I wanted to avoid some of the impacts with that. So I've been experimenting with a tanning booth at my gym. Now that's something that is controversial for a lot of people, right? There's a lot of people saying like, "Oh my God, tanning booth, cancer, cancer, cancer," right? But my philosophy was, well, it's the same people that say that also say that the sun gives you cancer. And I don't believe those people. So I'm experimenting with tanning and seeing how it goes. So far, it feels great. I've been finding it to be a real nice mood booster and overall energy giver. So yeah, that's a controversial topic perhaps, and I'd love to hear other people's thoughts on the tanning booths and tanning beds.
I think as long as you're careful with exposure, obviously the sun and the simulated sun from a tanning bed is going to increase the vitamin D that is produced in your skin, that is in your body.
Oh no, you have frozen.
It's certainly a way to combat seasonal affective disorder, which is what all the lights are sold for, the sad lights.
Yeah, you froze for a little bit while you were speaking, Valerie.
I just said that similar to the seasonal, the lights that are sold for seasonal affective disorder, a tanning bed would have the same effect, mental effect on the light, on your brain and the body.
Yeah. Yeah, I read some accounts of people saying exactly that, saying that, they go in the winter and it, just massive quality of life booster. So they go, that okay, that makes sense. I decided to run the experiment myself. Over to you, Deb.
I almost hit the video instead. No, I totally agree with what you're saying, Zach, as far as I was born and raised in Washington State in Seattle. So there are as many tanning booth companies, entities there as there are coffee shops and on street corners. And that is why it is so dark, gray, and gloomy. And my son went from living in, a pretty sunny town in Midwest in the middle of the state in Wenatchee, Washington, to Seattle to go to school. And he went to a therapist there, and he says, "I am depressed. I don't know how to get out of this." And so yeah, she diagnosed him with SAD, which is the lack of sunshine, basically. And so I got him a light to hopefully help with that and everything. And of course, he is in college. He's in a frat, so there were other things that he decided to do to help him cope with that. But he learned real quick on how to, he would go away for the weekends, go places to where it was sunny, and that he could, just to kind of get that vitamin D fix. and because it's the same type of thing. It's very dark, very gloomy, gray, and being born and raised there, I didn't realize it. You don't know it until you move away, and I moved to Arizona. So that was a harsh reality. I'm like, wow, I don't have to wear a heavy coat. I don't have to do all this stuff, and it was so nice to be in the sun, and I had done that as well. And I would just, maybe just a few years ago, even probably about 5 years ago now, actually, I had broke my elbow, and going into a tanning booth, I couldn't think of something that would help with the pain because I had developed frozen shoulder as well. Going into a tanning booth for 5, 8 minutes, 10 minutes max made a world of difference. It was the heat therapy. It was granted you're under the lights, but it really made a big, big difference for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Over to you, Maya.
I just want to add one thing. I recently read an article about fat consumption and vitamin D and exposure to the sun. Apparently, a level of fat, a healthy fat in our body, effects of when we're exposed to the sun, the way you get sunburn, the fat layer under the skin plays a big role. So this is like if you're low on saturated fat, you're gonna burn your skin stronger and get blisters on it. But if you do have a good level of saturated fat, then your suntan is going to be even, and there is no basically sunburn because the fat comes into the picture and plays it as a protective layer. And plus it plays a role of vitamin D absorption through the skin, through the fat layer. It's actually higher absorption of vitamin D when you're exposed to the sun. It was a very interesting thing that I was reading about it, and it made a lot of sense. Actually, when you break it down, everything was very interesting. Just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that last part you said. When you really think about it, it just makes sense. And that really is a key thing to keep in mind for so much of what's going on with health, right? I think there's been a lot of complicated artificiality that gets spewed out, and then people come to be distrustful of the simple things because, oh, it's not complicated. Someone with a bunch of fancy letters at the end of their name didn't, say to do it, so it's sometimes think the truth is very simple, and let's not overcomplicate things. But another very important thing to consider in this topic of tanning, whether that is in the sun or in a bed or in a booth, is setting yourself up for success, right? There's no one size fits all, and there are some universal things to keep in mind at the same time. Obviously, someone's base skin tone and complexion and pigmentation plays a massive role in how their skin will respond to any of the above, right? And so that's important to keep in mind and to know your own personal limitations and how your body reacts. Secondarily, though, there's also setting yourself up for success by way of making sure that the body that you're exposing to these very powerful light sources, again, via bulb or sun, are not full of toxins that may react with those light and heat and energy sources. So that, has a couple different parts to it. Firstly, of course, eating a fantastic, clean, and healthy diet as chemical free as possible goes a long way in not having those chemicals present in different parts of your body. And then there's also the body product side of things, because if you're smearing yourself up with a whole bunch of who knows what, then what do you think is going to happen when you expose that skin to these extreme energy sources? And so a lot of sunburn is not inherently a natural mechanism of our body interacting with sun, but is a mechanism of chemical burn, chemical poisoning, and chemical reactions with the sun, or again, tanning beds in this conversation. So that is a great thing to keep in mind as well. Cool. All right. That said, we are at the top of the hour. We do schedule in for this hour. As a reminder, sometimes if the conversation is flowing, we do keep going. If people do wish to go, nobody has to stay ever for an entire duration. We know everyone is busy. So if someone does have any reason to hop off, you are welcome, of course, to hop off at any point. That said, though, there was a question that I wanted to get to from our Facebook friend. So I'll table that if anyone is sticking around at the moment. And so someone was asking about med beds. They said they're hearing a lot about med beds these days, and so they're wondering if anyone had any thought on them. I see some smiles, but if anyone has any thoughts.
I've heard about them. I think they're supposed to be coming out in March. I've seen about them. I think that I've seen that the person who works the med bed has to be somehow interconnected with that bed, in some way to give the patient the best result. It's supposed to be, given to the people that are the sickest, like if they have terminal cancer or terminal illness, and children, they're supposed to have the first access to these beds, and they're supposed to be like a holistic way of completely curing your illness and restoring your health. I don't know where they're at. They're supposed to be, I think, it's in a short time period available in every city. I don't know anything about insurance covering it because it's a holistic method and it's a new thing, but they are considering that as well so that they're applicable, that anybody can have access to them. I'm very excited about it, being a nurse.
So it sounds like it's a it's a frequency
Yeah, you lay in it.
machine?
Like I think it's a frequency thing. And I think it goes by your type of illness that it would treat that illness and how advanced you are. Plus probably about your whole general health overall, any issues you have.
Yeah. Yeah, everything in this life is a matter of frequency and vibration. So it's uh, it's always fascinating to me when people are naysayers on frequency technology, not understanding that every bit of technology is frequency technology. Not understanding that the very computers and phones that we're all looking at each other on are full of liquid crystal displays. Not understanding that every bit of memory chip is a little crushed up rock that electricity is applied to. And that's the only reason any technology exists. All technology is frequency technology. So when there are naysayers on, other frequency technologies in the healing world, or, that which cannot be seen being talked about, it's a bit childish to me. It's very funny. But yeah, a quick search about med beds obviously has the normal media smearing of any good health mechanism that seems to be very powerful and works. So perhaps check them out. Very cool.
I was just going to ask if is there a website or are there articles that anyone knows of that give more information about them? Because truly what you can Google usually comes up with, this is a fantasy, a hoax.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll have to
So
go to the depths, some depths of the internet to find that.
Right.
I would recommend searching on Yandex instead of
Yandex,
Google.
yeah. If Google says bad stuff, that's mean. I would do opposite personally. So if FDA tells you not to, I would do it. So
However,
so
yeah, we're living in an upside down and inverted world
world, yeah,
is the truth.
that's me though. But about med beds, like I've heard about them, but I don't know details. Again, everything when it's a starting point, I would always question, of course, what is it going to be outcome in 10 years, in 5 years, because we never would know that after 50, 60 years, what is the effect on the body? Something new got invented right now, the only reason we would know after like testing on people for so many years, and we would know the outcome of it.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, it would sound great. but how is it affecting on the cellular level in our body? We don't know. We don't know until the years are gonna pass by with anything.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree with that, but I'm kind of down the rabbit hole with some things in society these days. And I think it's supposedly be a Tesla previous invention from Tesla. I think it's been researched, I believe. I think it's a real thing, like it's, you know, because we were talking about before with the phone, so I completely can see your point of view, but I trust this one. Even though it's not out yet.
Look, I mean, like
trustworthy of this one.
everyone is different. Like I'm a type of person who questions everything, you know, to the core of it. So, but everyone is different.
Yeah, exactly. Because also it's important to remember that not all of X thing are made the same, right? So someone can create something and be calling it a med bed and it be a misrepresentation of the concept, and then it gets, muddied in the public perception all the same. Whereas even if that technology is real and legitimate, so there's always layers to things going on, especially in the realms of technology and holistic health, in the realms of things that highlight the, lack of necessity for pharmaceuticals, etc. Um, so yeah, that's why it's just always important to be careful. Not all of X thing are made the
Right.
same. But I definitely agree with Jody in the sense that, yeah, things like this, just because quote research isn't readily known about and easily findable doesn't mean that someone somewhere hasn't been researching it and trying to publish it and or having their research destroyed. That happens all very often. But yeah, it's
Tesla has Tesla has its own pluses and minuses, you know. There's a health benefit. I mean, like there's a health side of the Tesla that affects people health-wise when they drive Tesla. And there's a convenience side of Tesla.
Oh, I think Jody was talking about Tesla, like Nikola Tesla, not
Oh,
the
Nikola Tesla.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, my
Yeah.
mistake. I was
Yeah.
like, in my brain goes right away Tesla, like, you know.
And perhaps
the
that's part of the whole confusion.
Yeah. That's
Purpose
why,
for
like,
that.
yeah, it depends where the source is coming from. Yes. For
Yeah.
Tesla nowadays, that I like, for example, don't have a big trust in.
No, I would never recommend driving around on lithium ion batteries and having all of that artificial, EMF being under you that whole time. Yeah, that's not something I think is a good idea, personally.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think it's a good idea to have a car that, can be switched off or turned right or turned left or all these different functions at the push of a button. That's not under your control. I don't like that either, but
Someone else.
that's me.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah, I see a hand from Linda.
So my background goes from energy healing from 2008 when you were talking about the color therapy. Same with the chakras. And Maya's shirt, red, constitute power. I mean, you're a power woman.
My favorite color.
The first chakra. But I'm entrenched in bioenergetics, which is part of what I bring to the table for my modalities is scanning people's energy fields through voice. And the med beds came up in my circles, and basically it's like we're waiting to hear. There's not a whole lot of information because, like, yeah, I want to know more about it. Nothing. It's like crickets. So I would say that it's either not the research isn't available yet, or it's not that far. It's kind of like it's going the horse before the cart. But I think in the area of body's frequency and the bioenergetics I do is we scan voices that detects the frequency of water in your body. It's at a cellular level. Been doing it for a couple of years, and actually working on my one of my family members who has cancer, and he's doing the scanning also, which regenerates those circuits for those areas. So it's amazing what our body's frequency allows us to do when it's in its, its healthy state. But the med beds is still questionable even in my circle. So
yeah. And how long the testing was done? I mean, like research was done, and was it like a year, 10 years, 15 years? It all depends. There might be data, but not enough data, right?
exactly.
So, yeah. Just working many years in the medical field in the hospital, I just learned any new drugs that would come into the market, like people would take it. And then a year later or 2 years later, the nurses knows here, the reps comes, they present like a new drugs, and then they would take it, and doctor would prescribe it off bat. And then a year later or 2 years later, they would take it off market because a lot of people would either develop cancer or die from it. So that's why I prefer going with like that something has been on the market and been used for 50, 60 years instead of just something that new came out.
Yeah.
Well, also with the new technology, and they're like, they're so quick to throw it out there. You need, you get people who are well versed in the field of energy that are saying, show us the data. And it's like, whoops, they probably, it's kind of too close to be out in the gate where, people want to, oh, I want to buy a couple if it's any good, but, show us show us some data, some clinical trials, right? And from what I'm saying is in my circles, there isn't any yet. So, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Linda. You said you working with water and frequency like in your body. Well, that's pretty cool because our body's made with so much
Water.
water. So that's really interesting how that would affect it. But wouldn't that be kind of a similar thing? I don't know how do you use your modality with the water and your
Okay, so
yours?
what happens is this is based on Rife technology, which was back in the 1940s, where this guy, I think it was out of Canada, he developed this the frequency machine that would cure diseases. And so the company that I've been aligned with for a couple of years is called Ness Bioenergetics. And what they did was they they figured out through the Rife technology that every part of your body has a frequency. So good example is I'm scanning somebody with a voice, because the voice detects the frequency in the body. It kind of goes through, and it's been spot on for emotions. It tracks traumas in the past. And I had a friend whose husband passed away. What comes up on her screen is grief. My mother, who's 91, I scan her and she says, how does it know I have neuropathy in my feet? Like, it picks up all this stuff based on the depletion of the frequency in your body. And it's been scientifically proven with water has a frequency, right? So our heart doesn't beat by itself. It beats with the frequency of the water. So that's why hydration is so important, because you have to be hydrated. We're 80% water, right? 90%
Yeah.
water. Or the oxygen in your water, in the water, needs to, hydrate your body so that the frequencies can go through and your body organs can work properly. So what I've noticed is with all of the toxins in the world, sometimes people who get scanned, it'll be like for myself, I fell on the ice shoveling my driveway 2 weeks ago. I go and do a scan, and what comes up? Bone and muscle, because the trauma at the moment, the frequency is just like traumatized, and it's just the science of the frequency of water. It's fascinating. It really is. So what it also detects is like someone was allergic to copper specifically. It picked copper. How did it know? Because your body is consistently trying to detoxify. And Maya probably knows this very well in her area of the line of work with detoxification, how your body really needs to be in a constant state of detoxification to function. Right, Maya?
Yeah. The water plays a big role. The hydration is the number one for me because people don't understand how important it is for the water to enter the cell and then exit the cell and hydrate everything and detox. So, and then lymphatic system is, what is it, 96% water? You know, so if we're not dehydrated, if we are dehydrated, the lymphatic system becomes very gooey and sticky, like, right? So, and it's hard to do a lymphatic drainage. People go for lymphatic drainage, but number one thing to drain your lymph are getting hydrated, you know? So, yes, with water, and then the Japanese scientists, you talk nicer to water, you tell water, I love you before you drink it, you're gonna get a good frequency, a good energy with it, you know. That's why a lot of people, they could like play meditation music and keep their water on. I mean, like, you know, or stuff like that, and then drink the water that they meditate or they talk to nicely. I do that personally. When I drink the water, I would say, like, you know, a nice words to that, and I would drink it. Because water is a nutrient of our body. People think it's a water, but it's one of the main nutrients of our body. We cannot survive without.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I scanned someone today, and her scan was very clean except for three things: circulation, like her heart, and something else. And she says, "Wow, that's really funny. I have like diabetes runs in my family." And so whatever it came up with was actually detecting the deficiencies that could be there if she doesn't it doesn't like when you look at the scan, it doesn't like say, oh, this is what you have. Doesn't what do you call it?
It doesn't diagnose.
Doesn't diagnose. It just shows the areas that require a little attention. So there was a couple of days when I wasn't sleeping well. So I do a scan, and what comes up? Sleep and night, because my circadian rhythms were off. So whatever it detects goes really deep, and it detects things before it becomes problematic. So the things that came up for her were her genetics that is in there, but it's not affecting her yet. So it's wonderful, because then what you do is they have these infusical water things. Looks like this, right? Looks like these. You drop them in the water, and these have the frequencies to regenerate. It's I can't even tell you how wonderful it is. And so you do this for 28 days, and next thing you know, you rescan and see, you know, your outlook on life is better because your brain is getting nutrients. You know, the frequencies are being regenerated. It's been around, I think, this company since 2012. It's been like 10, 15 years. But that's it's just fascinating.
Yeah, I had a scan done on myself at the Healing Strong conference like a year or so ago, and it was like part of a group session. You know, it was one of the breakout rooms, and it was like in front of a whole group of people. And the way this one worked, you put your palm on the reader, and then you know, like you speak, and I guess like say a few things, and then they gave a readout of the results. Spot on. Spot on. I'm someone that's pretty conscious of what I have going on, either energetically or physically. And yeah, it pinpointed, places in my body that I knew had a particular injury at the moment, or, even some like emotional or energetic things that I understood were, rolling around in me. It pinpointed them right on the spot, which is crazy. I mean, it's not crazy. It is sensible, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's going to be my foundation modality for actually for cancer too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we take animals in the wilderness, they don't go through school or through universities to gain the knowledge, right? But no, seriously, like, they deliver their babies in the like without that they don't have doctors there or midwives who delivers their babies. And we were part of that world, who would work based on their senses, whatever sense they get and whatever frequency they get, probably, right? And that they still live that way, but somehow we had changed so much. We've been brainwashed more, and changed, right? So I was talking today, actually, the main part that I learned from my experience with cancer is simplifying the things and going back to your roots. You're gonna be better off than trying everything because I feel like we have this built-in system right here, sitting right here, that does everything. And this whatever is in here is connected to universe, and we are the part of this world, part of this universe. And we do feel we do have, it's just we have to get connected back and just go back. That's how I feel. That's what, because from all that craziness, oh my gosh, I need this, I gotta try this, I gotta do this, I'm gonna get better by doing that. And it's like the outcome came, no, I did not need any of those things. I may need them temporarily to get better, but that should not be my lifestyle.
So Maya, along with that, which comes with energy healing, is grounding. We
Grounding.
get energy
Yes.
from the earth. So a lot of times when I'm dealing with my clients and they have some challenges, I said, obviously it's the winter. Have you ever thought of getting a grounding pad? Go get a grounding
Yeah.
pad and put your feet on it. Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Because those frequencies from the earth, and again, if you look at the first chakra, which red power, it's the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, is
Yeah.
you can't move. And I know, Maya, you know this one. You can't move ahead in life unless you have the basics, which are survival, your food, your water.
Mhm.
Without that, and that's the putting your feet on the ground, you
Yes.
can't survive very well, and so your
Mhm.
your body doesn't do well.
No.
And so that's also why that with the frequencies in the water. And
Right.
again, I was floored when my mom is 91 and it came up grounding, and it comes over the color like purple. And she says, grounding, what's that? I said, Mom, you have neuropathy in your feet. You can't feel the ground. It
Yeah.
detected that.
Yeah, it's so interesting.
It's amazing. I love it.
Yes, we slept like wild animals. We slept on the ground. We walked barefoot on the ground. Our body meant to have that. It's in our DNA. But
it's
we
also
invented it. We're smart. Humans are smart. I don't know if we're smart or we're dumb. I would say, I would argue in that part. I think we're killing ourselves being smart. Okay, so we invented shoes, right? We don't sleep on the floor now. The mattresses has to be very comfortable.
rubber
And they have to
soles.
be raised, okay, from the floor.
Yes.
So we are kind of pushing away that we meant to have in our life, and then we're looking for solutions that we already had it in the first place.
Exactly.
Right?
Leather, when they did away with leather soled shoes and came up with like rubber, so that was the end of it.
Well,
You're not
worst thing. Yeah.
So they say wear leather soled shoes. It goes into it grounds you. So
Yes.
Or get grounding shoes. But
it's so hard to find any leather shoes nowadays. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
There's straps that you can put on to any shoe as well, though, if you want to modify an existing shoe. I used to wear them from a brand called Earthling, and it like has like an adhesive backing, and it goes on the like right under your foot, and then it goes like up and over the back or the side of the shoe, and then underneath, and then it completes the circuit from your shoe. But yeah, I mean, modern shoes are a whole rabbit hole in so many ways. I mean, they're foot binders is really what they are. It's
Yes.
insane. Like they're not shaped like feet. They're shaped like points, and then people's feet end up getting shaped like points. It's ridiculous. I've only worn barefoot style shoes for the last, God, year and a half, and I can't even start to say what life improvement it's been. My feet are strong and powerful and very stable, as are my legs and my hips and my pelvis as a result. Yeah, modern shoes are such a detriment in every bit of way. They damage the entire body. The entire body, because as you elevate the heel, now your legs and knees and hips compensate. Now your spine compensates.
Yeah.
They're
back, everything.
responsible for a lot of postural problems and severe damage as a result.
So Zach, I wanted to say one other thing. I took a course a couple years ago in environmental toxins with Laura Adler, and the topic of tanning beds came up. And I know what I got from that, and I'll probably forward the information to you about the studies that we learned about it, because I think, and I think Maya, you might have even said that. I think it's the amount of time you spend in there. Like, you have to be careful, but there could be something else that's not that safe. I was just looking it up before when we were talking, and there's a lot of controversy on safety or not safety. So I'm gonna dig into my files, and Zach, if I'll forward on what I had from my course, if that's helpful.
Sure, toss it in the private chat,
Yeah.
in the Telegram chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and we're gonna get to you, Jody, but I did see a question for Linda from Beverly to put something in the chat. I forget what it was now. It was about,
Can you put it in the chat?
I forget, that was like 7 minutes ago or so. What was
Oh,
it?
the bioenergetics?
I think so. Yeah, she's nodding affirmatively.
Oh, okay. So it would be
I guess like
E-
the testing thing.
the bioenergetics
Yeah, the one
And-
that you got in Healing Strong testing.
the what?
No,
Zach, the
Yeah,
one
yeah.
that you
Well,
last year.
Well, I don't know what. No, she was asking Linda, so that I don't know if I did the one that Linda does, but
Oh,
What
okay.
the bioenergetics?
yeah, I think she was asking for what the test that you use.
The test.
No, I think it was you who were talking about having a test from Healing Strong conference last year. You were
Oh.
talking that it showed
Oh.
like
He was
freaking,
talking about
the
skin
energy test.
bioenergetics. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what you were talking
bioenergy.
about. So that
Okay,
would be
yeah.
E4L energy4life.com.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And you can find me as a practitioner, but it's so fascinating, that whole thing. It's a very good company.
Yeah.
Me and my son, we were walking one day, and we walked like about 7 miles. Like halfway through, I was getting tired. Like I was feeling tired. Like it was getting hot and tired. And I was like, gosh, I'm getting tired. And I ran out the water. And I was walking, and then suddenly I'm like, why am I walking in my shoes? I gotta take my shoes off. So I took my shoes off, and I continued walking. Literally within 15 minutes, I just felt the energy burst.
Yeah.
Like we walked for another like 3 miles and no problem, and this is like how much grounding affects our body. It just balances everything internally. So yeah, I do walk a lot barefoot a lot.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Jody had a hand up.
Well, two things. First of all, I have a grounding pad on my bed. You can buy them online on your bed and for kitchen floors and things like that, or put them there's like a little mat that you can put on your floor by the couch and stuff, or underneath your desk. But I was thinking also about the frequency of music. Like they were saying, like I think the frequency of music, the healthy one is 340, but for some reason they make our music at the beat or the frequency of 342. So
Not
it's all
342,
is it
I believe so. It's 440.
it's
Yeah.
440, not 340.
Yeah, 440. Yeah, it's not 340. The 440, I believe so, is the real sound of nature.
Okay.
Well, and
If
you can go on like YouTube and put in sound healing or frequencies, and there are videos that are like an hour long for like sleep or healing or parasite cleansing, or
Yeah.
I mean,
But you gotta make sure you're getting the right ones, because a
Yes.
lot of people would put something, but they're not right ones. There's a difference between, I think, what we're using right now since 1920s, I believe so. They changed the frequency of the musical instruments from 440 to, I believe so, 439 or something like that. The frequency from that, this was purposely done, like taking away the sound of nature, because the instrument would have a different frequency. I remember like me and my kids, we were like doing a lot of reading about it. So if I'll find those videos, I'll share on Telegram. It's a very cool videos.
so there's a channel on Telegram that's fantastic called Quantum Healing. and it's
Mhm.
all about the sound frequency and healing frequencies, quantum healing. I
Yeah.
can't even believe the stuff that's through there.
Yeah,
It's
that's
awesome.
that's what I talk when people have to go to the basics first to
Yeah.
heal themselves.
Yes.
You can put down so many like supplements in your body or buy these crazy devices, but if you're not gonna go to that back to the basics, your sleeping, time of sleeping, like surrounding yourself with like a nature and sound, it's like the body doesn't go to that stage of balance.
Mhm.
It's hard to bring it to that stage.
Yeah, so 440 is what music currently is. That's very disruptive to the water in our cells. 432 hertz is the frequency that it used to be, which is
Okay.
more aligned with the frequency of
There
nature.
you go. Yeah. I
And
remember
there are several other hertz ratings, so different frequencies that are said to be good for different things. There are different,
Yeah.
natural frequencies that can be used in different ways. This is just a quick search.
Yeah.
There's
There's a
528.
love is 5. Which one is love? I know love is 525 or 528.
You can
Yeah.
actually
That's a
look on
song.
Spotify and say like you want a music that says like 96.3, whatever your issue is, and you can have
Mhm.
music played at that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, again, just because something is alleging to be that doesn't mean that every single thing that says it is, so
Yeah, you gotta really do search because there's a lot of
What would
scam
be
out there.
what would be a verified website that you know that they're not messing with you and giving you the wrong frequency?
I'm gonna try to find that YouTube channel that we were watching. It's a legit one. And they talk about frequencies a lot in the music, so probably that's where you can find more information from them.
Okay.
So I would look it up and then I'll try to find it and send it post it on Telegram.
Okay. Thank
Perfect.
you.
Cool.
Perfect. Yeah, and so there's so many things that can go into audios, right? Even beyond the frequency that something's tuned to, there can also be subliminal language that
Mm-mm.
our bodies pick up on, and those I very much know are real in the sense that I've tested it. I've had music playing that didn't have any spoken words that you can consciously hear, but had subliminals or it alleged to have subliminals in it for certain things. And then I put it on and I was going to sleep. And then the next morning, someone said to me who was hearing the frequencies also. They were like, hearing the music also. They're like, I could not sleep. They're like, I was just thinking of, like success and money and power and health and they just like I just kept getting these like visuals in my head and I didn't know where they're coming from. I was like, yeah, I was listening to subliminals and they're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So you
So
bought it?
so that person couldn't have been placeboed because they weren't prompted. And yet they were getting the visuals and the internal like thoughts of exactly what that video was intending to. So that was pretty cool.
Even though placebo, if it helps people, I would go for it.
Oh yeah, but what I'm saying is this one can't be placebo because they weren't prompted on
Okay.
like
Yeah.
it was supposed to be. They just heard music,
Right.
you know?
That's the placebo effect actually tells us like how much our mind can our body can listen to our mind. That's a placebo effect. That's what I understand. Like people say it's a placebo effect. That's I think what it is when your body listens to your mind.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
We got a question in the chat asking where to get leather shoes. I mean, that's going to depend on where you are in the world
Yeah.
and what resources and websites are available to you.
I know there's a store here in Austin on Congress
I bet there is
Parkway.
down in Texas.
We have a cowboy boots here, like made out of leather, 100%.
Well,
Like
there's also grounding shoes. Like they have shoes that are specifically designed for grounding.
Yep. Yeah, so those are probably
Doesn't
available
have
right
to be
on
leather.
Amazon.
And maybe what's that website you mentioned, Zach, that I recognized? That
Earthling?
Earthling. Yeah, I think is that a website that has products too?
Yeah.
I have the book, but like grounding shoe. Yeah, they're meant to ground to the earth and like do people can do their research and find them. Doesn't have to be leather.
Yeah, the website that I had used these before is earthling3.com. and you see it's like a strap that
Yeah.
goes into the shoe and then under. And I always recommend testing grounding devices. Don't just take it for face value. You can use a multimeter and test a grounding device to make sure that it's actually doing what it says it's doing. You can see the voltage drop in your body when you touch the device versus not. So don't just take, anyone's word for it. You can test it out. Any of these grounding things.
Well, actually, one of the best sources I like is, have you heard of David Avocado Wolf?
David Avocado
Oh my
Wolf.
God, he's
Yeah.
he's the go-to guy. He's just amazing, and like
Yeah.
and he's on Telegram also.
Yeah. I
And
actually met him.
oh, I would love to meet him. But he's into all that stuff, so he'll sometimes put resources into his page about products and things, and he's just amazing. He's out of Canada, I think, right, Maya?
I think so, yeah. I
But he's
believe so.
into everything like holistic, and he's just amazing. And I remember when I
Yeah.
was going to school at IAN, he was one of the guest speakers, and that was 10 years ago. Very, very well known in the arena of holistic health.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, he is. He's a cool
David
guy.
Avocado Wolf. Zach, can you
Yeah.
pull him up?
I can pull him up.
Yeah, he's on Telegram and
Oh, yeah,
other platforms. Yeah, a lot. I met him. I met Dal Victory. So during the COVID, there were a lot of the presenters. They would come to Austin and do a presentation in a small group of people, like kind of like close community. So and they would come and visit and have like. So that's what we met. I mean, I met
Oh,
them.
yeah, no, and he's very well respected and trusted.
Oh,
Definitely.
yeah, totally.
Cool.
Linda.
Yeah, they put a lot of information
I'm
on.
sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Excuse
Go
me.
ahead. Sorry.
Is his Telegram David Wolf, or is it David
David Avocado.
David
Avocado?
Wolf, yeah.
It's a WOLFE. That's how
Okay.
his last name spelled. Yeah. I think that's not his name, last name. He just like
Well, he's David Wolf, but he
David Wolf.
likes,
Yeah, he added
he's a big avocado guy, so.
Yeah.
But no, he's been around forever, and he's very well respected and trusted.
Yeah. Cool guy. A lot of information they share on their social media.
Yes.
Useful information. Yeah.
And he's a rebel. Right, Maya?
Yeah.
He's like, he doesn't care. He's out there. He's good.
Right. Yeah. I like that. I like people who don't care.
No, he doesn't care.
That's my people.
That's my people. That's me. Yeah.
Well, that's exactly the community that we're looking to build. And Carl and I had a conversation the other day because I was under the impression that he wanted to stay a little censored on certain topics, on these calls here, but apparently he didn't care. So I just thought he cared. So now that I know he doesn't care, I never cared.
Yeah.
So
I
we're
think
keeping it real now.
I think the reason he cared, he just didn't want to get censored, that the channel would get censored or we're going to get censored, something like that.
Well,
but nowadays is a little bit easier yet, as of now. But hopefully it's going to stay this
well, and
way.
also you get to be like, I'm going to be 69 this year. I'm running at it. It's like, what do I care? I just want to be authentic. And
you
get to the point where you don't need anybody's approval. You're just like, I often say, if I did nothing but scan myself and did my own thing and lived a holistic life, and I always say I'm drinking my tea, watching the world crumble, but sitting back saying, yeah, anybody want to come along with me? Like, you get to the point where you're not looking for approval for anything. You're just following your heart and your authenticity.
Yeah.
And wearing red shirts for power.
My favorite color. That's my favorite color. I do have a lot of red colors in my closet. Me and my daughter actually we made this decision not to buy dark color clothes. I mean, not like black color, not like we don't have any. We do have a few items, but focus on more bright colors and like happy colors. You know, we changed like everything in the bedroom, bed sheets, everything like bright and like, you know, frames on the wall. And wardrobe looks more colorful now than it used to be before. I purposely, like when I go to the store and I see something and I really like it and it's black, I'm like, nope, I'm not gonna buy it. I gotta pass by it.
I wear everything black, but I'm going to change that, Maya.
Yes, yeah. It makes you more happier. I don't know. For me, I like I get more happy.
Well,
You know,
I
when
think I wear black because I'm a rebel. I'm like a warrior. My Krav Maga, you know, I'm
Yeah.
almost a black belt. So I walk through the world and it's like, hello. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, black
Talking to me. No,
black
no,
has
it's
some
the
strengths
Jersey
to it.
Italian in me too. It's like I'm a Jersey Italian. What? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Black
funny.
is a very protective color. It protects, it shields energy.
Yeah, it shows the energy.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. We're not saying, I'm not saying no. I mean, I do have some black item, but I don't want to be like every day, you know, black. I want to have colors. I have yellow in my wardrobe now. I used to be like, you know, a person like, oh, this is too bright for me. I'm not gonna wear this. Like, you know, flashy colors, like, oh, I'm gonna stand out here like with all these colors. Now I don't care. Like you said, I don't care. If people, my daughter actually told me, she goes like, Mom, that's their opinion. Who cares? You know,
Exactly.
who cares? Let them be, whatever. You like it, you do it. That's it.
Zach, that was interesting that you said black is a protective color because I am a like the things that I have an interest in, which is the personal safety and situational awareness, the self-defense. I wear black, you know, black leather jacket, black boots, and walking in the world as if, you know, don't even think about it. But that's just who I am as a person. Being aware of my surroundings, but I'm always wearing black and blue. What do you think, Maya?
Well, if you like those colors, that means those are your colors, you know. I get a lot of compliments when I wear red. And I really truly like I feel like more refreshed. I feel like my skin gets, you know, I feel, you know, my face and my skin, the color of the skin becomes more vibrant when I wear red. So you know, maybe that's why I'm drawn more to the red color than any other color. You know, you probably your energy kind of directs you that what color do you like? My daughter, she's soft peach, for example, like soft peach and pink. I like turquoise colors, like ocean color. I like a lot, like bright blue colors. Those colors are, I love those colors on me. So
Interesting.
it
I'm gonna
depends like
think
how
about
you
it.
feel. Yeah, that's what the coloring comes like. You feel good about it. You feel internally, you feel good. That's all. Like
Okay.
I grew up in the culture when they would say, "Oh, at certain age when you get older, oh, red color doesn't suit you." Like, you know, in
Or
my like
black. You going to a funeral?
right.
Black. Are you going to a funeral?
Yeah. And it's especially like when you get older, like I'm gonna be 60 in May. So and people like would say, "Oh, you're at this age, you're wearing red color." Like, and it would be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna wear red color, right?"
Wear
So
whatever you
I,
want.
but then like, you know what? You feel good about it.
Yeah.
Why
That's
not?
interesting. Interesting.
Yeah,
Thank you guys.
I'm gonna
sure.
drop in the chat the podcast episode I did with the color therapy person. It's a pretty interesting conversation. If
Oh,
anyone's
cool.
interested, we talk about
Thank
all
you.
different things. Um, yeah, it's
Yeah.
oh, we have a comment on the Facebook saying that they discovered lately that black fabric and plastic are very toxic, and they've been getting rid of their black polyester clothes and utensils because they make us very sick, apparently. Yeah, I wouldn't limit that to the black polyester clothing. I recommend being very cautious and/or entirely staying away from, when possible, any polyester clothing, because polyester is a petroplastic, as are several other different fabrics, acrylic, nylon. I mean, anything that's not linen, wool, cotton, hemp
It's
fibers.
very, yeah, it's very hard to buy cotton stuff. I mean,
It's true,
like
yeah.
it's so like it used to be so many cotton different like styles and varieties, and now to buy linen or cotton or wool, it's so hard. I mean, our beddings are like 100% cotton. Our I mean, bed frame is wood and The mattresses are 100% cotton. By the way, called avocado. Avocado beds. So
David
yeah,
Avocado bed? Did you get a David Avocado bed?
I don't know if that David avocado
Oh,
bed,
he's got
but
a mattress, yeah.
mattresses are avocado mattresses, yes. So and then you what I want to say to that, I just like I just grabbed tons of fabrics. I went to the fabric store. I got like organic cotton fabrics, and I just made like some stuff for myself and my daughter to wear. You know, because like you can find cotton, but you cannot find stylish and I mean, I'm not saying I don't have polyester or nylon, but those are like for occasions here and there. But on an everyday basis, we just wear cotton.
Someone's asking about bamboo sheets. To my knowledge, bamboo fabrics are one of those greenwash traps where they say it's bamboo, so you think it's nice, but actually the production process
Yeah.
involves a lot of extremely harsh chemicals that
Mhm.
stick around. So the same goes for bamboo fabrics. I believe it's called viscose. Is that what that one is?
Viscose, yeah, viscose is a
Yeah,
bamboo.
but
It's
it's like,
still,
yeah,
yeah. Just because it's made out of plant, the process, it's the same thing as the oils. They would say like canola oil is good for a plant-based oil, right? But the process of it is very bad. Same thing with the bamboo. I used to think the bamboo is good, but then I did like a little digging a little in there.
yeah.
And
Because it sounds good. Oh wow,
it feels good
bamboo.
though. It feels good, yeah. I always go by my like when I stand in the store and I see something, I'm just like, do I want to buy this right now? And or like it goes like the way I feel. I think my intuition is like, oh, when I'm not jumping on it and buying, I'm like questioning myself. I gotta back it up a little bit. Like come home, do my research, and then when I do that, that means something is stopping me from getting that. And the bamboo batting is one of them. Like I was thinking to get it because it felt so good. I was like, oh, I gotta think about it. I gotta go home and check it. So I came home and I checked it, and it's actually the chemicals they use to make a fabric from bamboo are harsh chemicals.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember I did the same with a bamboo fabric shirt in the store. I was like, oh, this feels nice. But I just looked it up right there and I'm like, oh, don't do that. But
That's so true.
yeah.
Okay. Oh,
All right, everybody.
I'm
A very awesome call that went for almost 2 hours. A whole lot
Yeah.
of value for everybody that watches the replay or did attend and was catching us on the social media. Thank you to our friends that were participating in the comments. Thank you for my friends that were here on the call. I'm going to share screen one last time for anyone catching the replay and wanting to know where to join us. If you want to join us on the Zoom itself, find your way over to BeatCancer.org, go to the weekly call button, and you can join right there. We are live every week at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursdays. You can scroll down and submit a topic that you'd like to see discussed. You can also catch the replays. This has the whole playlist of replays, hours and hours of content to look through and learn, and always let us know what you think. If you'd like to join our holistic cancer coaching community, which will gain you access to not only our educational program and training here, but also the community elements that we have, such as the Telegram chat that you keep hearing us talk about, and other resources that we share amongst our private inner circle community, you can do that by going to become a holistic cancer coach and going through the process here, learn more, and we can have a chat to see if it's a good fit. Other than that, if you like to learn more and you want more to listen to, you can now check out the BeatCancer.org podcasts by going to the bottom of the page. And we've been updating some additional podcasts that our coaches participate in, and you could hear more of them. And of course, there's around 80 or so older audios and podcasts to listen to. If you want to work with a coach that you saw on the call, you like what they had to say, and you want to find them, you can do that by going to Find a Holistic Cancer Coach. And I believe anywhere that you're watching this recording should see their name. So, for example, if you wanted to work with Linda, you could type in Linda and find her here. For our coaches, please do be sure that you have your information filled in so that people that heard all the wonderful things that you had to say can find you effectively. That said, I look forward to seeing everyone next week. I look forward to seeing the coaches in the Telegram chat, and I hope everyone had a wonderful time today and a wonderful rest of your night.
Bye, everyone. Have a good night.
Take care. Bye.